G'day and welcome to another massive edition of the RDFNL Netball Show. Thanks to our friends at ONTIME Delivery Solutions. I'm joined by Tara Murray from the Star Weekly. We've reached the conclusion of round 13 and what a finale we had.
It is, and now we're back on sort of even keel. Obviously, we played that round one match that was postponed, and it was a cracker for the second time this season. Diggers Rest has beat Romsey by a goal, so we've got a sort of true indication of where all these sides sits on the ladder, and our top six is definitely not settled.
No way.
Probably going to head into the final round, which is what you sort of want. You want a close competition.
Let's talk about that close game where the Redbacks went down to the Borough, and the Borough was, I think, it sort of goes against the form line they've shown in probably the last month or so, and a big confidence-boosting win that keeps its finals hopes alive.
Look, the first thing, I looked at these scores and there was nothing separated these two teams all day. I think there was one goal difference between them at the break, so it was quite close. One thing I did notice for the Boroughs, it looks like they're starting to get back some of their injured players. You had Shelby Strong, who missed a couple of games. She was back. It looked like Carly Harrison was back on the court for a few quarters as well, which was massive for them because she provides that outlet in centre. Not only is she a great player, she has that extra height in the mid-court that not many other centres in the competition can match. So you look at that there. For them, it's a big boost that keeps their finals hopes alive. And you look at that, you go for Romsey, it's another match that they've dropped. It's probably a season what could have been for the Redbacks. They have been in just about every single match they've been in. They've won a couple of close ones, but they've dropped a few close ones as well. You look at that, if they had have got another 2 or 3 wins, you'd be looking top 2, top 3, where now they're still in that mix of don't have their final spot secured. So it was quite an interesting match. Did notice Monique Clark did switch from defence to goals again for Redbacks, so they're still not settled in that other shooting position there. So it's quite interesting how these two teams, obviously if they meet in finals, it'll be which they possibly could, looking at their ladder positions at the moment, it could be quite a cracker.
And it's quite interesting with Romsey too, with their close losses, they can still convert them to wins. At least they're involved in high pressure situations. They're still always in the contest, and they can always force a result.
It is, and you've got some of these players who played off in grand finals and finals last year. So we all saw the performance. They came back from Masson and they were trailing at 3/4 time, I think, in that qualifying fight, either qualifying or semi-final early in the season, and came back. So they can perform in those high pressure situations, and we've seen some of these players stand up at that level. Chelsea Ross is one. Kaylee Armstrong's another. You've got a few different ones who can step up at those high pressure situations.
Yeah, you're spot on there. Another amazing game. We'll talk up the probably the biggest one-sided result of the weekend. We had Rockbank take down Riddle, I think, in one of the great surprising results.
It was, until you actually go further into the stats and look. Yeah. And I had someone mentioned on Twitter, is Rockbank the real deal after this performance? I can't take anything out of this performance. Look, they've won by 30 goals, but if you looked at Riddle's lineup, I think they had one, possibly 2 of their starting 7. You had no Beck Colwell, no Lauren Close, no Alan Close, no Maddie Wellmeyer, no Kira Baldwin. So that's your two shooters, your 2 defenders, and your normal centre who were all. I'm pretty sure there was VNL action on Sunday, so that's probably affected them there. Where you look at it, I'd take more out of Rockbank's win against Riddle the first time round when they upset them. So look, a 30-goal win, and I think Rockbank were completely shocked. I spoke to their captain Mary Brodie, and she said this was one they expected possibly not to get the points. They expected Riddle to get the points because after losing the first time round to them, they thought they're going to come out fine, absolutely fine. So for them, it was a massive shock, not only to get the win, but to get the result like they did. And it's a good win for them because they do have the chasing pack. You do have Diggers Rest with getting that win. They are still that 4 points behind them. So it's massive for them there. And you look at it, the run home, Rockbank, if they can win the matches they're meant to win, you look at their next 2, they've got Broadford and Wood End Heskett. Saying that they did lose to Wood End Heskett early in the season, you get those 2, then you've got Macedon in the final round, so you probably need these sort of wins if you are to finish that top 6. So for them, it's about keeping improving and making sure they get the wins they need to.
And I don't think in their history they would have defeated. I don't think they defeated Riddle in A grade at all, but to do it twice in a season is unbelievable.
And that's it. There's been some big shocks. They've beaten teams that they've never beaten in A grade before. I think we saw that round 1 with Melton Centrals. That was the first one of them, and then they've sort of set the tone throughout the season. So look, at this point they look like they'll be playing finals, but it could actually come down to that final round match against Macedon.
And who knows, there could be a chance where these 2 teams might actually play off in the finals too. There's still that possibility.
Exactly, and that's it. And you look at if that's the case, then Riddle's lost twice to Rockbank. Rockbank will take a lot of confidence into that final series.
Wallen did as Wallen has done a lot this season and had a big win over Melton Centrals.
It is, and look, you go Wallen, they seem to have a number of options. They've got players who can switch from the mid-court into goals, from mid-court into defence, and that's what you're sort of starting to see with the Magpies. They're showing that depth and flexibility across the ball, where Centrals, they're still very unsettled. Their attacking lineup, where they've struggled all season, was yet again, they did make a few switches. I think the first quarter was 13-3, so that sort of set the tone for the day for the Magpies.
Absolutely. We'll rock and roll through the games that we've got coming up this weekend. Broadford and Rockbank.
Look, Rockbank would be red hot favourites here, and look, they need to win this game. They need to keep winning to play finals, and I'm expecting a really big win.
Can Melton Centrals bounce back against Macedon?
No.
No.
We've seen Melton Centrals aren't the team that we've seen in recent years. So, look, and the Cats are starting to fire, and we have seen, I think, their last performance, they had a really good performance against Riddle a couple of weeks ago, and they continue at that form. It could be a massive win as well. Diggers
Rest playing for their finals against the red hot Wallen. Can they get the job done?
Look, I'll tip Wallen, but this could be the match of the round. Both of these sides are really, really good teams, and obviously that if Diggers Rest have got their full complement of players, they'll push the Magpies all the way.
Is Wood and Heskett a chance to upset the apple cart a little bit and take down Romsey?
I don't think so. Wood and Heskett obviously has played some better netball in recent weeks, but I think that Romsey will be too strong.
Will Riddle get enough cattle on the park to get close to their best team where they can take down Rupertswood, or will Rupertswood continue on their merry way?
Look, I think Rupertswood will want to get the win. They actually lost to Riddle last time, so they were undermanned last time. But you put Riddle's full team on the court, this will be a cracker.
Should be a cracking round of netball coming up. So. Make sure you get down there. It's going to be a great run towards the end of the home and away series. Tara, thanks so much for joining us this week, and we'll catch you next week.
Thanks for having me.